We've got a major news week this week, headlined by two huge US news events. Starting off on Tuesday, we have Canadian GDP numbers, followed by New Zealand unemployment rate later on that day. Wednesday, we have the US JOLTS job openings, but all eyes will be on Jerome Powell in the Federal Reserve because at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the FOMC meeting, which is the first of our big US news events. US interest rates are forecasted to raise 25 basis points up to 4.75%. Thursday, the UK is expected to raise interest rates by 50 basis points up to 4%, and the Eurozone is also expected to raise their interest rates by 50 basis points up to 3%. Closing out the week on Friday, we have our second big US news event with the new unemployment rate numbers, expected to raise slightly. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the market heat map first. Let's see how all of our assets are trending so far today. The market heat map is the part of the Edge Finder that shows all of our assets as well as their percentage move either up or down, depending on how they've moved throughout the market today so far, and it gets updated every 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, if something moves in the markets, it'll move here in the market heat map as well. Starting off up top with our major US dollar pairs, I can see that USD JPY is actually our biggest mover to the upside when it comes to our US pairs, up 0.32% on the day so far. Aussie US, on the other hand, down 0.34% on the day so far. Our major indices are split 3 and 3, with the JP225 being the biggest mover to the upside so far, up 0.19%, but the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 down on the day, down 0.32% for the S&P and down 0.18% for NASDAQ. Let's take a look at gold and oil here in all of our assets. We don't have a bar chart for either gold and oil or gold or oil, but we can look at them here in our all assets box. And here I can see gold down 0.14% on the day and oil down almost 1%, down 0.98% on the day so far. All of our euro pairs are up, actually, euro AUD being the biggest mover to the upside, up 0.57% so far, and euro USD still up, only up 0.21% on the day.
Want access to our free FOREX course? Fill out the form in the description below to get access for free today. Read up on technical strategies, fundamental analysis, and risk management tips our team uses here at A1 Trading. Be on the lookout for an email from one of our team members with access to the free course.
Pound pairs, on the other hand, Euro GBP has made some big moves, up 0.41%. Not a whole lot of movement for the rest of our pairs, GBP USD being the biggest mover to the downside, down 0.13%. Most of our yen pairs are up except for AUD JPY, which is down only 0.03%. Euro JPY, on the other hand, up 0.51%. Swiss franc pairs, Euro CHF up 0.49%, CAD CHF down 0.1%. And most of our Australian pairs are up, Euro AUD up 0.57%, AUD USD down that 0.34%, and same with our New Zealand dollar pairs. Most NZD pairs up on the day, Euro NZD up 0.32%, GBP NZD down 0.09%. So with that out of the way, let's check out the watch list. Let's get a look at our buys and sells that we have listed so far today in the Edge Finder. Take away those neutral biases. That gives us a lot of buys. There's a lot of buys in the Edge Finder. In fact, let me take away the indices and commodities as well, because we just want to focus on our currency pairs. Took away a couple of those buys and maybe another sell, but still we have a decent amount of buys and a decent amount of sells. Only one strong bias though, that's GBP NZD, strong sell bias of -6. No strong buy biases, so we have to figure out which pair we're going to take a look at. I know tomorrow on Tuesday we will get new monthly GDP numbers for Canada, as well as a new New Zealand unemployment rate. So perhaps we'll take a look at NZD CAD going into those news events tomorrow. NZD CAD down here, and it also has a decent buy bias with a score of +5. That's a pretty not what we consider a strong buy bias, but that's as close as you can get to a strong buy without actually being one. So score of +5, COT data is a score of +1, so is retail sentiment also a score of +1. We can take a look at those numbers right over here. Institutional traders, slight favoritism on the long side when it comes to the New Zealand dollar, 55.98% long, 44.02% short. Definitely favored short on the Canadian dollar, however, 68 28.58% short and 31.42% long. So we don't technically consider this to be a favored long New Zealand dollar because it's still kind of hovering around that 50-50 range. We don't consider something to be long or short bias until it crosses over a 60% threshold. So that way it's clear and obvious which way institutional traders are leaning on the asset. So very slight favoritism here, only 6% above 50-50 when you look at it like that. So yes, technically institutional traders, slight favoritism on the long side for the New Zealand dollar, but clearly favored short on the Canadian dollar. Retail sentiment, on the other hand, 92% short from retail traders, only 8% long. So retail traders heavily favored short on NZD CAD. Our seasonality is a score of +1. So taking a look at this chart here, historically speaking, NZD CAD in the month of January is slightly bullish. When we take a look at our last 10-year average price points, it's just sitting barely above this zero or neutral line right here, meaning that throughout the last 10 years, when we take a look at the NZD CAD in the month of January, historically speaking, it does perform slightly better throughout the month of January than wherever it came in at. So price does typically tend to rise in the month of January, again, historically speaking. And with a buy bias here, if this continues to move up, that could certainly be the case this month as well. Our trend reading is actually a score of +2, and we can see back here, we had a little bit of a move to the upside before it shot back down and has made some steady moves over the last couple days, slightly raising price each day after that, and price forecast certainly projects that that will continue to be the case. Fundamentally speaking, however, GDP growth and unemployment are both scores of +1, inflation and interest rates both scores of -1, so we are split fundamentally speaking. We can take a look at those numbers right over here. GDP growth for New Zealand, 2% compared to 0.7% for Canada. New Zealand's inflation, 7.2% compared to 6.3% in Canada. New Zealand's unemployment, 3.3% compared to 5% in Canada. And lastly, New Zealand's interest rates, 4.25% compared to the 4.5% for Canada. So quick breakdown of NZD CAD. Remember, if you want the Edge Finder for yourself, you can find it in the link down in the description below. It is a super useful trading tool for all kinds of traders. It gives you lots of up-to-date information on all the different things that you need to know heading into the markets. And if you want it for a discounted price, you can use code A1YT at checkout. Again, you can use code A1YT at checkout for a discounted price on the Edge Finder.
Make sure you guys check out the links in the description if you need broker recommendations, access to our free Discord, or want to chat with us on Telegram. If you're interested in our trading software, the Edge Finder, you can find that in the description as well. Thanks for watching.